since then, sometimes they put me on stuff. I'll put it like that.
So
Yeah.
So Dane Cook opened for you.
If you want to say that,
I will say that, EL. Today from Los Angeles, Mr. E.L. Smith, a former Floridian, and now he's out west. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. We really appreciate that. This is a fun one, man.
Yes, E.L. Smith. Yeah. We have him on our Zoom interview today. E.L. Smith, you may have already seen him in commercials like Shipped, or you may have caught him on stage, especially if you're in L.A. You may have caught him at the Laugh Factory many a times. Welcome to the show, E.L. How's it going, man?
Woo! All right. What's going on, man? I'm still in it.
No, you are still in it. My first question, though, is where's your hair, man?
Oh, man. A couple of job things. Like, I had an audition, and I took it out one time, and it was like that. And I was like, there's no way they're going to go for that. So I just went ahead and just cut it. But, during the pandemic, everybody was I wasn't getting a haircut. And, I'm older now and I still have my hair. So I was like, let me just see what this can do before one day I wake up and I have to get the Michael Jordan and I have no choice. So,
oh, man. Well, I'll let you know a little secret. I'm actually going to get my cut this week, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's everywhere right now.
Okay. Yeah. So I let me do it before, one day I don't have a choice. So I had a choice to grow it, but I'm too old for it now, so I should have did that earlier, but it's all good.
It's where we broadcast out of the podcast Palace on Park Street here in Clearwater, Florida. Okay. We've been here a long time in Florida. Now, are you a native Floridian?
I am. I'm from West Palm Beach, Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay, cool, man. And you were there. How long before you went out to make the trek to LA?
So I started in Tallahassee. I went to Florida State, and I used to host at a Comedy Zone. I ended up moving to Tampa. That's where I met Tony. Mm-hmm. And then started, asking them for spots at the Tampa Improv. Yeah, so started doing a little bit there, and I met someone, and I ended up moving to North Carolina. I didn't do it when I was in North Carolina for like 3 years, and I still had like that itch, but it was actually less opportunity than Florida in North Carolina, if you ask my opinion. So it kind of got discouraged. And then the opportunity came to move to Los Angeles, and I was like, you know what, man, let's do it. Let's try it. So I went out. I moved out here 2016. I didn't know anybody. I had one cousin out here. Didn't know anybody in comedy, and I just started hitting the ground, just running. So
where did you start out? Where did you go first? Like when you went out to LA, did you go to like a small room or just try to fill out the scene?
I filled out the scene. I did a couple of open mics, but I knew a booker from a festival I did before who actually vouched for me at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Oh wow!
And so the booker saw it. I didn't even know what he looks like. He was in the audience because he asked, "Can you do like 10 minutes clean?" And I was like, "Of course." And he saw it, and ever since then, he started booking me at the Ice House. And then they let you record a video, so I just started sending that video out and just started hanging out at the store. They have an open mic there on Mondays where they only pick 16 people, and maybe like 150 people come and sign a piece of paper like every Monday. So after a year, I started getting on the mic thing, and then kind of like the pandemic happened, so that kind of been shut down. But an opportunity came at the Laugh Factory when the pandemic was happening. They were doing this YouTube thing where they would like film comedians, and no one was in the audience, and they wanted to do like 20 minutes. And a lot of their regular guys that they booked didn't want to do that. Feel that they didn't feel that, but I was like, I'll do it. So I don't care. I'll do it.
It was just like an empty room.
It was an empty room, and they put it on YouTube, but you're telling jokes to an empty room for like 20 minutes, like nothing. So, but
it's like open mic.
Yeah, basically. So I did that. I met a couple of people, started hanging out. And this is a cool story. One time I was hanging out there, and something happened. Well, somebody left or didn't show up, and like the assistant manager came up to me, and she was like, "You want to go on and close out the show on a Friday?" It was a Friday night, and like after Dane Cook, and like, do you want to do 20? Can you do 20 minutes? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I went up there, and that show was great. It was amazing. It was a packed house, and they saw it. And then ever since then, sometimes they put me on stuff. I'll put it like that. So yeah.
So Dane Cook opened for you.
If you want to say that,
I will say that, EL.
So now, like, now, are you a regular at a few rooms, or do you have different rooms that you get into on a regular basis?
I could probably get on a couple of local shows here and there. I regularly do things kind of like at the Laugh Factory, but as another club here called Ha Ha that I kind of do things for too. Hollywood Improv, still trying to work my way in, and Comedy Store trying to as well. But it's a couple of rooms. It's always a lot of places. People put on their own shows and stuff like that. So yeah.
Tell Jack Asadorian at a Ha Ha that we say hi.
Oh, Jack! Oh, yeah. I'll let him know.
That's our guy out there. Him. I don't know if his parents still own it, or he took it over. But it's a whole West Hollywood feel out there.
Yeah. It's all of them. It's his mom and it's him. I think his mom and him. He does like the bookings and stuff for it. Yeah. So no, it's a cool spot.
Dude, I mean, during the pandemic, he was like bartending, getting tickets, comedy, running. I mean, he was wearing every hat. So I respect. I'm like, damn, that's a guy who wants to keep that in the family and just keep that business going. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. He wears a lot of hats there, and he does comedy too as well. So,
so tell me, like, just to follow up on something you mentioned earlier, just so the audience understands, what is the power of the vouch when someone vouches for you out there?
It's sometimes it's hard to get from people, but it's basically somebody putting their name on the line, basically saying this guy is funny, or this guy's clean, or this guy is not going to brain down your club or make you lose money, or he's not going to say anything crazy or outrageous. And I'm putting my reputation on the line for this person. So it's almost like, and I find that when people vouch for you, it's almost either they really like you when they think you're really funny, or it's like almost, what can you do for me? Almost, can you get me, if I vouch for you here and I know you play here, can you get me into there and I'll get you into there? It's kind of like trading.
Transactional,
yeah. So it's only those two things. People just don't do it out the goodness of their heart. It's always something. So
business, always business.
That's LA right there. That's LA in a nutshell right there.
It is because there's so many people out here trying to do comedy. So it's everybody, even people who want to be actors, their agents tell them, oh, get into comedy. And so, and like when New Year's happens, I remember one time I was here for New Year, like around, New Year's resolution, and 150 people was well over 200 at one point. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of now, what got you into comedy? Like what brought you to that point that you wanted to do it in the first place?
Well, I was in West Palm, and I was going to a community college, and it always starts with a girl, right? All good stories. So I had a crush on this girl, and I was thinking of something fun I can do besides the movies and all that type of jazz. So I saw D.L. Hughley was at the Comedy Corner, and West Palm. So I bought 2 tickets. I went to her. I asked her. Of course, she said no. So I ended up going with this girl that was a friend of mine, and we ended up sitting in the front row. And I didn't know you're not supposed to sit in the front row at the D.L. Hughley show. And I had braces at the time, and he just picked off everybody in the front row. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, he's ruthless, man. It's like, so you see that. So that's what kind of initiated the spark then.
Yeah. Then I always been like funny around family and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, I want to do this. So when I moved to Tallahassee, just got into it. And a funny story, when I moved up there, I met Roy Wood Jr. He was still he was still in college there. He was like, I think he only had one more year. So I met him like at an open mic or something like that. And I told him, because he was super funny, that I wanted to be a comedian. And he started telling me things and giving me advice, and he let me do a couple of shows for him, and then he actually got me into the Comedy Zone right before he left at the one in Tallahassee. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you went to FSU. No, he was I think he did Florida A&M.
Yeah, he went to Florida A&M. Yeah,
that's so cool. I was thinking about Roy when he were in that area. I was thinking about that because he was doing like radio in Birmingham.
Yeah,
And
he's from
sometimes he would
Birmingham.
drive bus back and forth to do shows in Florida. Like he just has outrageous stories.
Yeah, I can tell you firsthand that guy was 100% dedicated to doing comedy. Like that's what he wanted to do. But me, I was young and I didn't think, I was doing it as a hobby and it was fun. I was making a little bit of money. I didn't think anybody would blow up or become huge out of Tallahassee, Florida. So I didn't really keep that like connection or that real friend. Like I didn't really blossom that friendship. I was like, oh, this guy just helping me out. But then, next thing I knew, he just was doing this, that, and that. And now he's like super big. So sometimes he'll answer my text.
In the clinic on this now. He's like, here's how it goes.
But yeah, he was dedicated with it. Super dedicated.
Well, now, do you like model yourself after anybody in particular, like writing style or process?
No, I look at everyone, even like everyone that's successful, even people that I may not think is funny, just to see like what do people like about this person.
Yeah.
And then it's of course there's a lot of people that I personally like their style and I like their jokes because it's almost smart humor, like Bill Burr, Daniel Tosh, Chappelle, old school stuff, Kevin Hart, Patrice. And so I watch those things over and over again, but I try to like just have my own style. I'll just be myself, honestly. I don't
you got your
try
own
to
flavor, it's like you really do have your own little distinct flavor, your own persona going.
Yeah, you got to.
And you talk a lot about your family and the kids and stuff. Now
I do.
How do they feel about that?
My youngest daughter, that's the one I used to have the most jokes about. And one time I remember I was at some event, it was like clean. And so she was in the audience and I started telling this joke about her and she got up and she started running. She ran out the place because she was crying because I was mentioning her name, but she's cool with it now. She's cool with it now. I always try to stay more on the clean side just because it's just more opportunity and just doors just open up quicker and stuff like that. It's like I just recently I was just in Florida. I just did Lane University, right there in Boca Raton. So yeah. So so I just try to stay more on the cleaner side. So
so you're not doing chocolate sundaes.
I did chocolate
Hollywood,
sundaes.
you better get on it, man.
I did chocolate sundaes. I did it twice. It was good. Yeah, it was good. The last time was okay. Yeah. It was good. So I gotta hit them up to see how can I get into their rotation. But Chocolate Sundays, believe it or not, it's a really good show. It's not as crazy because I know you're from Florida, so you remember like Apollo Nights and some of those places.
Yeah, well, I mean, Guy told me about it. He's the one who started it.
Yeah.
So that's like a legendary night out there now.
Oh, it always stay packed because they as long as you reserve, the tickets are free. And it's like a 2-drink minimum. You can get 2. So it's always packed every Sunday.
Well, can you tell the audience that don't know what we're talking about what Chocolate Sunday is?
So it's like it's supposed to be urban, but I won't even call it urban anymore because the crowd is so mixed. But it's a show at Sundays at the Laugh Factory. It's started by this guy named Pookie, and of course everybody. Of course, it was started by somebody named Pookie, but it wouldn't be Chocolate Sundays if it wasn't.
This day in history.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But
not going to be Alistair. It's going to be Pookie or Ray Ray.
Yeah. But all big name comics went through there as like Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, all those people, and then people pop up there like all the time. Like I want to say this past November, Kevin Hart popped up and did like 15 minutes, and then got in his chauffeured car and left.
Sure. Wow.
The way you should.
The life.
Right.
The way you should. That's how you leave the show, right?
Yeah. Now, when someone like a name like that comes in, like I assume there's a pecking order. Does he just kind of like Chappelle it? Does he come in, everyone clears the way, and then he does his thing and he leaves? Or how's that work when something like that comes in?
I only seen a couple of these people pop in sometimes, which is really cool. Is what they do is so he came in at the very last of the show, so he didn't like bump anybody or anything like that, which is cool. And if it's Kevin Hart, people are going to stay. So he did like 15 minutes. People stayed, and it was funny. And the other like the month before that, I saw Dave Chappelle, and he came to the store, and he went on after everybody went on, so he didn't bump anybody, but he did like an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
people stayed. Like the show ended at 11. He came on, did an hour and a half, and people like I only saw like maybe 3 people walk out.
Wow.
So
See that? Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if that's a little something new for Dave, because we talked about this on one of our shows in season 1, that Dave was kind of getting that way in the last couple of years or so, where he would go on and do hour and a half, 2 or more, and bump everybody in the room. Like nobody.
Oh, wow.
Like he would just do, but no one was saying anything because it's Dave Chappelle. But one of my favorite stories was he was doing it at a club in New York, and he was just having a drink and just smoking the cigarettes and going on bumping and I was going to say, hey, Dave, can we go now? No one's saying it, but they said that Chappelle looked to his right and he saw Dave Attell off stage. And he said, hey, Dave, did you go on yet? And Dave shook his head, no. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. Please welcome Dave Attell. So that's the kind of respect he had for Dave Attell. But he was just bumping everybody. So it's good to know now he's kind of just not bumping anybody. And
he didn't bump anybody. It was after the show. So yeah.
Now, well, have you had any encounters like that where you've had to follow a big name that just came in and just destroyed the room, and then you're like, okay, do I need to go?
One time when I first moved here, I was at the Ice House and Arsenio Hall popped up.
Oh man, nice.
Wow. Yeah, he popped up. He came with this little notepad, and of course, when they said Arsenio Hall, everybody lost it. He did his little new jokes. People laughed. They had a good time. And then after that, he left like they usually do. And then after that, they're like, "Oh, here comes E.L. Smith."
E.L. Smith.
That's right. See, that's when they're supposed to use the intro. And by the way, Dane Cook featured for this next comedian, E.L. Smith.
It was way before that Dane Cook incident. But the Ice House is a really good club, so it went good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. So no. But yeah, that happened before.
Now, you didn't really plan on becoming a comedian initially. Now, what about the acting? Because now you're doing commercials. Like you did a national spot for Shipped. What was that experience like, and what's going on with that?
So I was at a comedy club right outside of LA, Ventura Comedy Club. And I did a show, and this lady was in the audience, and she was a commercial agent, and she just approached me afterwards, and she's like, "Yeah, you want to do acting?" And I was like, "Of course," because anything to make money in LA and to stay out here. So I started doing that. She just started sending me on auditions, and I've been on so many, but I booked the Ship one, which was pretty cool. That was an all-day thing. And I recently just booked one for Johnsonville Sausage that I got to go do tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So
congrats, man.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So that one, and then I got some more auditions in the work. I just did one for a TV show that's going to be on Amazon. That's all I can say about it. So hopefully I get.
I've done a few of those. I can't talk about it really, man.
Yeah, I don't want to get in
great
trouble.
Audition.
But
I can't say nothing.
Hopefully I get it. So if I get it,
good luck. Now, being in LA and being approached by a lady asking if you want to act, did at any given time did you think it might be porn?
No.
Yeah, big fake tits.
That doesn't mean anything in LA.
It could be a guy transitioning. Who knows? You're right. But now you don't want to be that kind of porn unless it pays.
No.
Pays well.
No. She looked pretty legit. Her car was pretty legit. So
the card looks
legit.
Yeah, it all
the old card trick.
She has a secure website.
But not a secure vagina. All right, listen, and that's just ridiculous. EL, don't even laugh at that.
So now you're getting more into the acting then? Are you like taking other measures as far as like studying or doing workshops or anything like that?
No, I mean I took one acting class, but I'll be honest with you, if you've been on stage like you guys, if you've been on stage and you talk with people, I mean you can act. It's just pretending and just tapping into whatever they want you to tap into. So I don't think it's that hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just took one acting class. It's to like say I took an acting class. But if you're a comedian, you can act. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically doing that. You're doing a
Yeah.
performance every night. So you've written the script
Yeah.
and you're acting out the parts, depending on what kind of comic you are. But like I see your comedy, you're physical,
Mhm.
you act out the characters, the
Yeah.
roles in your bits. If it's your
Mhm.
family, you're acting out your daughter, you're acting out yourself. So you
Yeah.
find it you're fairly comfortable with acting, then you feel comfortable with it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, too. And also, if you did comedy, you can't be like uncomfortable doing anything in front of people. Like, especially if this is what you want to do, it's like just do it. It's not gonna hurt you, so it's not gonna like harm you. It's no like physical pain, so just do it. And then once they put that dollar amount in front of you, you be like, I figure it out.
Right, you make it work. Now, what I know you've been doing comedy longer, but right now, have you been bitten by the acting bug? Like, are you liking one or loving one more than the other right now?
um, I like comedy. I mean, I love comedy. Acting's cool. Um, I think it'll open more doors to do comedy. So, I mean, I'm not in love with acting. I mean, I'll do it, of course, but I'm more so want to be like I want to write for like late night or something like that, and then have like a big enough name where I can be like, oh, I'm coming to the Denver Improv or the Tampa Improv this weekend, and enough people know me to where I can like pat the room and stuff like that. But acting.
Have you been
Hmm?
submitting like writing or anything like that, or are you working on that angle?
I'm working on that angle. I haven't really submitted. I submitted to some things like NBC has this program. They stopped doing it since the pandemic, where they used to do like a workshop. But
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to. Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to like meet more people in that space, but I'm not turned off towards acting just because if I act in enough stuff or enough bigger stuff, I can basically use that to do whatever or get into whatever I want. And then acting's not bad. It's not like it's terrible or like, I don't know, I dread doing it. So I mean, it's fun
Yeah,
to do.
acting's fun. I love it, man.
Yeah,
I love doing it. Yeah,
yeah. So
I moved into a trailer just so I could feel like I'm halfway there. Mitch
That's
Hedberg, man. It's Mitch Hedberg.
right.
Talks about his sister.
That's right.
My sister's an actress.
working on the craft,
Yeah.
Uh,
being
So
very
like,
authentic.
so now, well, have you considered like writing something for yourself and like a short film or something to that effect?
I haven't, and I haven't even thought about that because I got to probably figure out where to put it in time wise, just because just trying to, I usually go out. I haven't been out this week, but I usually go out like almost every night with the comedy. Just if I'm not hanging out or on a show, I'm trying to like network or meet people. Just have my face out there. Then I still, I got to pick up my daughter from school, and then I still got the little day job thing that I do. So
That's
it's
a lot to balance.
yeah, it's a lot. And right now I'm in the process of moving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's always go go go. So I don't know if I can fit that in, but possibly.
Future, like what's the end goal that you see getting to? Is there a succession of smaller goals, or is there just one ultimate goal that you want to reach as far as the entertainment itself, like encompassing the comedy, the acting, the writing?
Um, right now it's probably the small goals, like become more of a regular at some of these comedy clubs. Do that. Also, I have a college agent, so to do a little bit more colleges as well, and just continue like to build up or attempt to build up the social media, just so because I know that can just open doors. I really don't care for social media, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's necessary to like
it
do
is.
a lot of things. So just build that up, keep, getting on some of these shows and just getting in front of the right people. A lot of times in LA, this is being seen by the right person, the right agency. Some of these agencies, they still go out to comedy clubs or they hear about you through this thing or that thing. So the more you're out there, the more you can, somebody can tap into like, oh, have you seen this person or you heard of this person? Oh, or they just happen to see you. Like I tell you not, and I'm not even exaggerating. If somebody from like UTA or a CAA was in the audience that night that I went on after after the Dink Up, something would have happened because that show was like awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, but nobody was there. So you just got to be out. So be out and be around, and also continue just to work on yourself and get bigger and stuff. Because when people see that you're also serious about it yourself, they kind of like tag on to that.
And real quick, you may have said before, how long you been in California
now? Since 2016.
Okay, so especially now getting out, because I know all my friends out there in LA, like I said, Jack and other people, Chris Cope, other friends of mine of the show and everything. You had all this downtime with COVID and just not being able to get out and do comedy. I was telling my friends, like some of them wanted to quit because they had no place to go. My friends in New York and Jersey, same thing. I know you had some. I'm like, guys, freaking take a bus or a plane, get to Florida. At least we're doing 50% capacity. You got to do something.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good. Did that get you down a little bit because you were doing your thing out there, and all of a sudden the doors for everyone's job was shut, basically?
I would say yeah and no. It was a lot of Zoom shows, which was okay. I didn't mind. I would say yeah and no, and yeah, because things were starting. Believe it or not, things were starting to like roll a little bit better for me. Like I just did chocolate sundaes and they were really good. I got picked at the Comedy Store like 3 times in the last 2 months, and so that was looking good. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happened, and then all that stuff kind of like shut down. So that was the bad part. I knew comedy will eventually come back just because everything's going to come back eventually. I mean, this is life. So just if you want to quit, that means you just that's just your way out. But everything was going to eventually come out. It's just this time to like take a break, write more, and then also I liked it too because I didn't have to. It gave me a chance to slow down. I didn't have to go out almost every night or anything like that. Or my phone, somebody called. So I didn't have to go out almost every night. I can slow down. I can think about things. I can write more. I can watch comedy specials. I can still do things in comedy, but I don't have to like put in all that work. Because some of these places before pandemic, places was like the stores stay open till like 2 a.m. So, yeah. And after a while, I don't care who you are. After a while of going out or networking or being on shows, just hitting hard, it kind of like drains on you a little bit. So
wears you down.
Yeah. So especially when you're not making any headway. So like the Hollywood Improv, they have a show, a mic show where they pull names out of bucket, and it would be so many people they would turn people away. So they capped it at 75 people, and so they'll pull names out of bucket, and you can be there for the whole 2 hours and not have your name pulled. And I would see people leave that upset, mad, angry.
Yeah, I've seen that myself. Well, that's happened over at the Tampa Improv. We was over there and I was doing it. There's people would get mad because, hey, look, we only have so many slots and we're doing them random. So it's like,
It's sad, it is, man.
Yeah.
So you got to have a story to tell. Nothing comes easy though, especially in entertainment, especially in comedy. I bought Kevin Hart's book before, and I listened to it on Audible. I just listened to Will Smith's book on Audible. You'd be surprised at how many like things that came in, roadblocks that came in their way, like huge, like I should quit moments came to them, and they still stuck it out. So if you're complaining about not getting picked at open mic, then you're not gonna make it. So.
Yeah, that's part of the growth process. Being able to deal with that rejection or cancel, because you're gonna get double booked at some point. You're gonna get canceled. Your show's gonna get it's like you're gonna get taken off the schedule. So that's part of learning. That's it.
I just lost that as a feature at a place in Florida here a couple weeks ago. The guy emails me like the week of the show. He goes, "Hey man, my bad. I forgot that the guy that you're opening for, he's bringing his own feature." And I said, "Well, oh Jesus."
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, it wasn't. I had some other shows coming up and some headlining gigs, but I'm like, oh damn. But I don't know, man. But like you said, though, it's good to be strong in the head. I've been doing this for a long time. I was in different entertainment for years, but it's still tough for me. I do want to give up sometimes on stuff, just in general, because it's tough to hear those stories. Like you said, Will Smith and Kevin Hart, like he says before shows, everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to put the work in. And it's true. I hear that what he says. And I'm like, then you hear some of those roadblocks, like The Rock. The Rock has one of those big roadblock stories. He thought he was going to be in the NFL back in the day. He got cut by the Canadian Football League. And you know, he has a great story about the amount of dollars, like 5 or 7, whatever his production company is called. It's like called $7 and something, or $7.50. That's how much money he had in his pocket, and that's why he called it that production company. And
he only had it. He only had that much because that's all the guy had when he robbed him.
That's right. That's right. And it's just stories like that that make The Rock. But that's what he went down to.
That's when he knew his wrestling was in his future.
That's right. Have to go back to, and he didn't want to be one. And he
beat some ass.
Right. And
doing that.
Robbed the fans with $50 tickets.
Now I got $50 in my
pocket. It's definitely like that.
Exponential as he got down the block.
Yeah. Same robbery, more money.
Kevin Hart has a good story. So when he was traveling up to New York, he finally got the opportunity to do something at the Comedy Strip. And this guy named Dave Lucien, who used to book it, he discovered like Eddie Murphy, Jerry Seinfeld. So Kevin Hart says, and this is Kevin Hart narrating his own book. So he said he goes there, he does his thing. He said he did good. And he said the booker called him in the back and told him, I don't think this is for you. I've seen comedians and I don't think this is it for you. And he said he was so hurt by that. And he said he never played that club. And he talked to this other comedian and the guy said, that's only one person, one club. Just keep doing your thing. So.
Man, well, E.L. Smith, listen, thanks for taking time out. I know you're a few hours behind us there in L.A. And real quick, how can people get a hold of you, social media wise, website wise?
E.L. Smith Comedy. So if you type in E.L. Smith Comedy, it's on my shirt here, E.L. Smith Comedy. Yeah. Everything will pop up. Social media. I'm mostly on Instagram at all the social medias, but E.L. Smith Comedy and website, all that cool stuff will pop up. So
E.L. Smith in L.A. We really appreciate it, man. The best of luck to you.
One is subscribe. Another one is like, comment, hit notification. And all of these words will help us grow as a channel. Back to our program.